Guys, what is up? Today is an exciting day because I'm going to show you my new computer and I'm going to talk about what is probably going to be a rather controversial change to my computer setup that I've made because I have traded my 16-inch M1 Mac MacBook Pro in for the 15-inch M2 MacBook Air. Some of you are probably thinking this is a stupid decision, this is crazy, completely unnecessary, or just completely backwards, and in some ways you are right. Obviously, the MacBook Pro sits above the MacBook Air in the Apple lineup, but because of the chips in these machines and a couple of other factors, this decision actually makes a lot of sense for me. So first, let's talk about the obvious one, which is the form factor and the size and weight of these computers. I take my laptops with me everywhere I go, and portability is huge. First of all, the 16-inch MacBook Pro, although not the heaviest thing in the world, it's not light, and it's also pretty much at the very, very limit of what any of my bags and travel accessories can actually accommodate. It's very snug when I put it into my Peak Design everyday carry bag or into my laptop sleeve, which I will take if I'm just running out the door and just need the computer and no accessories. Whereas the MacBook Air, it is significantly lighter. I know it doesn't seem like it would be because it's only an inch smaller, but the form factor in general and the computer in general is just significantly lighter. And this means way more portability, and it's way easier to chuck in my bag or into a laptop sleeve and run out the door with. It does make a difference over time. And if you hold these two side by side and really compare the weights of them, you will agree as well. Now, portability, obviously that's a big thing for the MacBook Air. That is what it's made for. But what about performance? Obviously that's another big thing. And somebody with a MacBook Pro is expecting pro level performance. Well, for all of my workloads, my YouTube videos, my day job work, my freelance work, and in my workflows, which is primarily Final Cut, Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, and then coding with, my idea of choice. Honestly, I don't think I needed a MacBook Pro. And maybe it's simply because the M2 is just that much faster than M1 was. But I have noticed literally zero lag, zero drop in performance in my workloads, no degradation in terms of being able to scrub timelines, manipulate images in Photoshop, generate vectors in Illustrator. Honestly, nothing at all. And obviously, Final Cut is pretty optimized, so that's probably helping my video workflow. But as far as the Adobe side goes, it's only as optimized as Adobe wants it to be for Apple Silicon. So honestly, it's just very surprising, but the M2 Air has taken everything I've thrown at it flawlessly. It's executed flawlessly. I have noticed absolutely nothing out of the ordinary, no lagging, no hiccups, nothing at all that would make me say, okay, this is where my workflow requires that extra pro power from the MacBook Pro. And I've seen other creators talk about this as well. If you work primarily in 4K and you don't do super huge sustained workloads, the Air, because it doesn't have a fan, will be able to handle that. I think for the average consumer, even the average YouTuber and the average graphic artist, the Air is capable and powerful enough, thanks to Apple Silicon, thanks to the architecture that Apple has put together, to just work. Now, there are a couple downsides, obviously, going from a Pro laptop to the Air. And the big one is the ports, because the MacBook Pros, especially these new guys, are equipped quite nicely in terms of porting. This side of the MacBook Pro is pretty similar to what you get on the Air. Of course, you got MagSafe, a couple of your USB-Cs, and your headphone jack. But on the other side here, this is where things really differentiate. So you've got your SD card reader, another USB, and also HDMI here, I believe, up in the top. The added ports give you a lot more flexibility in terms of your connectivity, being able to plug SD cards in immediately, being able to plug in more devices at the same time. That is a plus on the Pro. Sort of see here on the Air, it doesn't want to focus on it very well, but you only have the headphone jack on this one side. There's no other ports. Everything's just on this side here. So, welcome to dongle life, but honestly, dongles have come so far, I don't really find them that limiting anymore. And for the MacBook Air, I went ahead and bought from Satechi this adapter here, which gives me all of the ports and missing connectivity that I needed and actually then some, because this has normal USB in addition to Type-C on it. So it uses both of your Type-C plugs, but then you're getting all of this, which is a Type-C, a bunch of normal USBs, your SD card slot reader in a bunch of variations. This is an excellent and relatively inexpensive way to combat that problem of missing ports, and it even comes in the matching color, midnight blue, which is excellent. Does leave some fingerprints, but all in all, just keep a rag with you and you'll be fine. So yes, you lose some connectivity. Yes, you lose some performance for sure, going from Pro to Air, but you also gain some things on the Air that you don't get with the Pro model, which is like the insane battery life. This thing, I plugged it in once this week. It's already Wednesday when I'm recording this, and I've only plugged it in once, and it's still going, and it's still going strong, and I've been using it since Monday. This thing is the battery champion of the Apple lineup. There is no denying it, and this M1 Pro was actually really good in terms of battery as well. So I'm super impressed with the battery life on the M2 Air. Now, yeah, I'm a little bit late to the party because M3 is out now, but I don't think this is going to be obsolete anytime soon. And honestly, what I experienced with the M1 Pro was that the chip was just so good. It had so much performance. I think I'll be fine to stick with M2 probably until M4 or maybe even M5 come along. The advancement from Intel to the M line of chips is just incredible, and Apple has really upped the game yet again, and these laptops are very much the best of the best. It's pros and cons, but honestly, overall, I think for the vast majority of people, the Airs, especially now that it comes in a 15-inch size, which is a crucial size and an excellent size for 99.9% of people. It gives you tons of real estate for all your different apps, whatever you might be doing, video, photo work, writing, etc. And price-wise, it's very competitive for what you get. These MacBook Pros here in Canada are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to get them adequately equipped with storage, with RAM. This M2 Air was about $2,700, but it is fully spec'd. It's got all the RAM you can option up with, all the hard drive space you can option it up with. I'm not going to outgrow this guy anytime soon, and it was literally half of what I paid for that M1 MacBook Pro just 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm sure some people are absolutely going to say this was the wrong decision for me to make. I went with the wrong unit. I should have stuck in the Pro line. But all in all, I'm super happy with my change. I've been loving this machine. It's got adequate power, adequate screen brightness, tons of real estate thanks to that 15-inch screen. The color on the outside is great. The workaround for the lack of connectivity was $100. I think it's a very nice product. I think it works very well for me. And especially if you are starting out in your career or you're a student, this is way better bang for your buck, especially if you're on a budget. Let me go down in the comments, guys, if you think I'm making a mistake or what you think of the M2 Air, what you think of the M1 Pro. Are you still an M1? Are you still an Intel? Let me know what you think, and let's have a conversation. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon in the next video.